Good morning. Here is the news at 10. First, the highlights. Lagos State government honors over 300 public servants with long service awards. President Tinubu appeals to university workers to embrace negotiations. On the foreign scene, former President Donald Trump's campaign team accuses United Kingdom Labour Party of election interference. The Sport Confederation of African Football set to give verdict on Nigeria-Libya botched African game. Now the details. I'm Taiwo Baruwa. In continuation of the 2024 Public Service Week celebration, 361 public servants have received long service awards for their dedication and meritorious service in Lagos State for 30 years and above. Speaking at the event held at the Adeyemi Bureau Auditorium, Alausa Ikeja, the head of service, Bode Aguru, described the annual Long Service Merit Award ceremony as an opportunity for government to appreciate and express gratitude to dedicated workers who have served the state for 30 years and above. While congratulating and urging the awardees not to rest on their oars, Aguru enjoined public servants in the state to perform their duties to the best of their abilities and support the successful implementation of the Themes Plus agenda of Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration.
Let me encourage you and enjoin you to remain focused, dedicated, committed to your assigned schedules of duties. Take full advantage of the latest information and communication technology to acquire knowledge for your continuous self-development. It's very important. On its part, the state government will continue to provide the necessary and conducive environment for the attainment of your lofty goals.
The Permanent Secretary, Public Service Office, Sukomi Igbola, who also congratulated the awardees, pledged the continued support of the state government to the welfare of public servants in the state. Some of the awardees expressed their gratitude to the Lagos state government.
I feel great, I feel happy. I thank God that I am alive to receive the award. So the rest of the years that remains, I pray that God should grant me long life so that I will receive all my entitlements.
They are really taking good care of us. We enjoy the service.
Earlier at a public lecture was the theme, Breaking Barriers, Service Strategies for Inclusive Development. The head of service, Bode Aguru, urged public servants to break any form of barrier that may hinder access to opportunities that will benefit the citizenry. The guest speaker, Permanent Secretary of the Ogun State Bureau of Public Service Reform, Adebowale Oyeneye, emphasized that the primary role of public service in development is to act as a conveyor belt, delivering government's developmental initiatives directly to the intended beneficiaries. Lagos State's government, through the Ministry of Tertiary Education, is set to commence the second phase of the digital capability skills for students of the state tertiary institutions. And this is in continuation of the effort to enhance digital skills and position the student of the state-owned tertiary institutions for jobs in the ever-challenging and dynamic environment. Speaking on the initiative, the Commissioner for Tertiary Education, Tolani Sule, said the program is aimed at equipping over 1 million young people in the state with the requisite digital skills by 2030 to make them more employable, expanding the horizon of the opportunities and capabilities. According to him, the program tagged maximizing the transforming capabilities of artificial intelligence in the 21st century workplace will feature training in entrepreneurial skills development alongside core digital skills training using technology and tools and critical thinking, creativity, and problem solving. The 3-week program will from October 26 to November 12 and will be attended by a cross-section of industry experts from notable sectors of the economy, including captains of industry. The federal government has banned the export of cooking gas produced in the country as prices continue to spike. Minister of State Petroleum Resources Ekpere Apu, who expressed deep concern, said A high-level committee led by the chief executive of the Nigerian Midstream Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA, Farouk Ahmed, and comprising key stakeholders in the LPG value chain was established in November 2023 to tackle the soaring price. He lamented that despite this effort to address the issue, prices have continued to fluctuate. EPO said with effect from November 1, producers had to stop exporting cooking gas produced in country or import equivalent volumes of cooking gas exported at cost reflective prices. The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, says the federal government has picked interest in the interrogation of the Gulf of Guinea as a major route for arms trafficking into Nigeria. He notes that several parts had revealed that small and light weapons were done through the maritime sector. Ribadu, who was represented by the Director of External Affairs, Office of the National Security Advisor, Ibrahim Babani, spoke at a seminar in Abuja. The NSA stressed the need for further investigations into the connection between climate change, armed conflict, and the spread of weapons across the Gulf of Guinea countries. Ribadu also said threats in the maritime sector had evolved from looting to kidnapping. Highlighting the positives of the Gulf of Guinea, the NSA noted that the region holds an estimated 24 billion barrels of crude oil reserves, contributing approximately 5 million barrels daily to the global crude supply. Now to the rest of the stories. President Bola Tinubu has appealed to members of staff of Nigerian universities to give peace a chance and avail themselves to the opportunity of negotiating by his administration. Tinubu urged the unions should embrace negotiations as he remained unwavering in his determination to ensure universities are no longer shut at students. Speaking at the grand finale of the 39th convocation of the University of Ilorin held at the institution's main campus in Ilorin, Kwara State, Tinubu said the universities, just like the entire nation, needs peace to give room for prosperity. The president, who was represented by the Minister of State for Education, Yusuf Sununu, said his administration is committed to uninterrupted academic sessions in the universities. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, Non-Academic Staff Union of Universities, and Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities are all geared up for strikes following the failure of the government to meet their demands. The unions are demanding the payment of their withheld salaries during the 2022 strike, among others, as they faulted the non-implementation of the 2009 agreement. The federal government says it will examine state laws and the conduct of local government polls, as well as scrutinize why some state governments have delayed the conduct of the local government elections. Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, who announced this, said there is no going back on the federal government plans to implement the Supreme Court ruling on local government autonomy. Fagbemi said implementation of the Apex Court verdict is sacrosanct. He dismissed insinuations that a 3-month moratorium was given to state government before the implementation of the Supreme Court's judgment, which granted autonomy to the local government. Currently, no fewer than 164 local governments in 8 states are yet to conduct elections. In foreign news, as the day for the United States presidential election draws nearer, Donald Trump's campaign team has accused British Prime Minister Keir Starmer's Labour Party of blatant foreign interference after its volunteers traveled to the U.S. to help campaign for Kamala Harris. The campaign has filed a complaint with the Federal Election Commission in Washington, calling for an immediate investigation into what it's called apparent illegal foreign national contributions made by the Labour Party of the United Kingdom and accepted by his for president. The dispute began with a LinkedIn post from Labour's head of operations asking for people to travel to the US, saying nearly 100 were already going. Starmer tries to play down the role, saying Labour has long sent volunteers to US elections. With less than 2 weeks to go, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris remain very close in the polls. In sport now, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, will today announce its verdict on the botched AFCON Group D qualifying tie between Libya and Nigeria, which was scheduled to be held on October 15 at Benina Matthias Stadium, Benina. The match, initially set for Matthias of February Stadium in Benghazi, had been moved to the 10,000 capacity facilities about 10 kilometers from Benghazi at the 11th hour, following Libya's 1-0 loss to the Super Eagles at Gatwil Akpabio International Stadium, Uyo, 3 days earlier. The Nigerian team had its flight diverted by the Libyan authorities, with the pilot directed to land at Al Abrak Airport, where they were taken hostage for almost 18 hours without food and water before returning to the country on Monday, fatigued and malnourished. The Nigeria Football Federation lodged a complaint with CAF, with the football body putting the match on hold and referring the case to its disciplinary committee. And that's it on the news at 10, but just before we go, ensure the registration mark on your vehicle is clear and visible at all times. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that under the Sanwo-Olu administration, 300 youth were trained in aquaculture and poultry farming? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. In continuation of the 2024 Public Service Week celebration, 361 public servants have received long service awards for their dedication and meritorious service in Lagos State for 30 years and above. President Bola Tinubu has appealed to members of staff of Nigerian universities to give peace a chance and avail themselves for the opportunity of negotiating created by his administration. We also told you that as the day for the United States presidential election draws nearer, Donald Trump's campaign team has accused British Prime Minister Keir Starmer's Labour Party of blatant foreign interference after 8 volunteers traveled to the US to help campaign for Kamala Harris. And finally, in sports, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, will today announce its verdict on the botched AFCON Group D qualifying tie between Libya and Nigeria, which was scheduled to be held on October 15 at Benina Matthias Stadium, Benina. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That ends the news broadcast compiled by Abiola Fagbolagun. I am Taiwo Baruwa. Thank you for listening. Good morning.